Welcome to Abzu, a beautiful underwater adventure brought to us by Giant Squid Studios. As we explore the beneath the sea landscapes, please keep in mind to wear your headphones for a more optimal experience. Plunging deeper down into the waters, we uncover many familiar underwater species that we normally see on forks, plates, or disintegrated into soup to satisfy our predatorial compulsion to kill. If you had your mouth open in awe due to the unbelievable atmosphere, you might have caught some snacks on our way down. Enjoy the fishy aftertaste as it makes things much more immersive. We still lack knowledge and understanding of the world deep beneath land, but like the infinitesimal details that we might miss in the surveillance of the heavens, dark mysteries lie ahead in our journey to expand our cultural cuisines using the cover of this underwater exploration game. The oceans are frightened by the birthing of a creature never before seen, a semi-low polygon man thing that has a terrible sense of fashion who likes triangles, just like the Legend of Zelda fans. And here we start our hunt, as the game teaches us how easy it is to swim and dive faster than Olympic athletes. It's telling us to hold to swim. If I was a boomer, I would totally be thinking, well, aren't I always holding onto the mouse? Although we see a tranquil blue body of water in front of us, let that not distract you from our original objective, the accumulation of bodies for potential fish and chips dishes. Before we continue any further, one must change the swim pitch to non-inverted. This allows for conscious non-participation of focal and physical neurological symptoms. The ability to randomly boost without any explanation scientifically of how that's possible is indicative of anime logic. Let me try to explain. To travel at great velocities, we employ the dolphin kick technique, which emulates the undulation of a dolphin's tail to propel us forward and project through the arena like an intercontinental ballistic missile. Like how many responsible adults say not to play with your food, we won't be playing. We will be temporarily leveraging unknowing fish kind victims by latching ourselves on as a parasite just because we're too lazy to swim on our own. As a man of culture, I'll need to emulate the descriptive diction of a food critic for a second. With the waters plentifully bestrewn with life, we can surmise that the ecological community is prospering with a wealth of vivacity and effervescence. Zoolingualism is the power to talk to animal life forms and understand their reactions, while aquatic empathy is the power to empathize with water animals to understand the emotions of aquatic animals and vice versa. We won't be needing those unnecessary distractions. The ability to manufacture a solar-powered robot submarine that responds to underwater acoustic communications and can be restarted by turning its rear end like a screw is simply an engineering miracle. At times like these, I am uncontrollably envious of Aquaman. What an amazing fishing ability to be able to command a fish to drown. Or better yet, maybe you can tell them to slather themselves in batter and jump into the deep fryer. The ruler of the depths is simply overpowered. The ability to breathe underwater, known as aquatic respiration, is the process where an aquatic organism exchanges respiratory gases with water to obtain oxygen dissolved in water. These organisms use specialized organs called gills or directly through their skin in order to breathe. In our case, the diver uses the swimsuit in order to trap sweat underneath fibers and dissolves the sweat to obtain oxygen. The salt that's left behind from the sweat is able to soothe skin and calm breakouts and irritation. They can also help to balance oil production and retain hydration. The sand on the sea floor can act as an exfoliant in order to clear clogged pores, but the diver here was only adamant about emulating the primal urges of a sand tiger shark. Sorry to burst your bubble, pun intended, but it's usually not this visual underwater. Philosophically speaking, the main character could be cognitively challenged, and thus perceptions are influenced. What causes this type of perception, you may ask? Well, it could either be that the diver is naturally hallucinogenic, or it's because of nitrogen narcosis. Nitrogen narcosis is caused by breathing high concentrations of nitrogen while underwater. What this diver might be experiencing is hallucinations due to narcosis. The shell exhibited here is from a nautilus, which are usually carved for souvenirs and collectibles. Its logarithmic spiral is not only mathematically marvelous, but also a respected trophy for the torture and mutilation of the cutest pelagic marine mollusk from the cephalopod family. You might be asking yourself what the best way to prepare coral for consumption is. Well, I can tell you that there are much better things to ingest than a meme for The Walking Dead. For example, the great white shark burger. We won't only be eating their fins, but we will even grind their teeth down to make broth. What a fiend, you might be thinking. But little do you know, I'm quite knowledgeable in the Shark Conservation Act, and as long as we decimate the entirety of the shark, not just the fins, and show proof by possession of the carcass, we're able to legally devour the species to its extinction. Have you ever seen those Japanese videos of an eel entering a woman's respiratory orifice? Well, I have, and I gotta tell you that eels are quite delicious and healthy for consumption. In fact, eels are actually a fantastic source of mega healthy omega-3 fatty acids. They also contain a good amount of calcium, magnesium, potassium, selenium, manganese, zinc, and iron. With so many minerals, I'm surprised that there's no aluminum. Japan loves its unagi, freshwater eel, a bit too much, eating about 70% of the world's catch. Declining eel populations in the US, Japan, and Europe have incited governments to place them on the red list of species at risk of extinction. Who knows what other means of eel usage are so attractive to these people? But one conclusion I can make is the new age of adopting renewable energy, and we all know that an eel naturally generates electricity with the might of 2 Pikachus. Engineers in Japan are trying to research what they named Pika 2 wireless battery packs, which will cause a revolution in the way we cultivate power. Or so I heard. You know, we all started this journey expecting to find new and interesting aquatic animals to add to our recipe book, but instead it looks like we've stumbled upon the 4th dimension. I've heard that the 4th dimension is time. Is that why it's taking so long to swim through this invisible air-like water substance? Actually, if you take a closer look at the center of the screen where the diver is situated, you'll discover that we're still swimming towards our objective. Finally, as we resonate with the bubble of legendary and insurmountable mystery, not only did it vacuum the soul out of me, but it also took all the remaining body water I had. That's one way to look lean for when I wash up on shore later. I feel a huge weight has been lifted off my shoulders after giving birth to these manta rays using my soul energy. Say, would it be considered cannibalism if I were to eat fish that is produced from my own body while harboring intense apathy? Or would it just be very shellfish? It looks like my aquatic joke sprung life into the world. Look, my children are happy and even the tower is defecating coral. I always knew becoming a disruptive marine life cuisine connoisseur would open doors for me. My supportive mother did once try to encourage my dream career by saying that my chances of becoming a comedian are lower than the ocean floor. Now I truly know what she meant. I must thank her when I get back. You know, one weakness that I recognize humans for adopting is the feeling of anticipation, since this means that suspenseful content is usually the best for